Sony Pictures has just released their full release schedule for the next few years. The list contains a number of surprises, including Bad Boys 3 and 4, scheduled for February 17, 2017, and July 3rd, 2019. John, what do you think about Sony's schedule?
It's a lot of it is very surprising, actually. I'm looking at the schedule, and first of all, Bad Boys 3 and 4. We've heard rumblings for a while that may happen. So to see it actually now on, not only on the schedule, but number 4 being on the schedule as well. That's pretty interesting. I think Will Smith is getting ready to go back to the things that made him really, really successful and really popular. And I think that's a really good move on his part. We see him, like yesterday we talked about, I can't remember the name of the film now, but he just took over for Hugh Jackman.
Collateral Beauty.
Collateral Beauty, thank you. That sounds more dramatic, and I think that's going to be great for him. Now he's going to mix that up with going back to kind of like the brainless, like wild action stuff with Bad Boys. I think that's a really nice move on his part. A couple of the other things surprised me. Jumanji announced for December 2016. So that's intriguing that they're doing that. We had heard about Underworld 5, and it looks like that's actually happening. Why? Why? Patient Zero is really, we haven't talked a lot about Patient Zero, and it's the Doctor Who, Matt Smith movie. It's another zombie film, but it's like a mutated strain of the rabies virus. It turns people into these things, these maddening creatures called the Infected that just attack everybody. But Matt Smith plays a guy who can speak their language, so he's got to help them find Patient Zero so they can maybe find a cure. That's pretty interesting. Uncharted, they've got it now. They've booked it for 2017. Let's see if they actually stick to that. We've heard about Barbie, Baby Driver, Resident Evil 6, of course, is on the way. A lot of very interesting things on here. As you looked at this list and heard about this, what stood out to you for Sony's upcoming schedule?
Well, being a Resident Evil guilty pleasure fan, I'm very excited that they're moving forward with Resident Evil 6. And then the Dark Tower is actually something that I was like, I'm really happy to see that finally scheduled. I don't know if they've ever decided they're going to do the Dark Tower and then a TV series, or is it just a movie now? You guys know?
No, it's been rumored. So many different things. Like you said, I think Ron Howard had a lot to do with it at one point, right?
I don't even know if he's
I don't
still
think he's in there
attached.
anymore.
Okay.
What stands out to you?
There's a couple. I mean, obviously, for me, it's Uncharted. That's the one I really want to see how that develops. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. I want the casting to go right. And I still am pulling for Warcraft to be that first one to start the video game boom. And hopefully we're pretty thick into it when Uncharted happens. Sorry, Schnepp, I could not care less about Resident Evil 6. But Jumanji for me is one that I would have wished that it was like, I don't think you need to do a remake of Jumanji. I think you could do another sequel, like a new kid gets the game without having to do the same thing and the same characters. Like I don't think it's necessary, but I would be interested to see a new take on it. I don't know. Sony's, it doesn't seem too great yet. I'm not overly thrilled with Bad Boys yet, because if Will Smith's going back to his old stuff, why didn't he go back to Independence Day? Is it just a money thing, I guess?
I think Independence Day was more about his kid. Keeps trying to shoehorn his kid into
is going to be in Bad Boys 3 and 4 too.
Maybe.
I don't know yet. I like Bad Boys 1. I really enjoyed it. I didn't care about it too as much, but I know that there's a huge fan base for it.
Yeah, a lot of people love that
It
movie.
definitely makes sense to do it. Dark Tower, I agree with Schnepp. I think that Dark Tower is one I really want to see. Uncharted. What's The Lamb? Does anyone know what The Lamb is?
I'm unfamiliar with The Lamb.
I don't know what The Lamb is. And so, but yeah, Magnificent Seven.
Oh, that's another one I'm very excited about.
Magnificent Seven, to see Fuqua, Denzel do work together again and
I think Chris Pratt is in that with them.
And Chris Pratt's also in Passengers too. That's another one.
Yes, Passengers with that. Which, by the way, it's not one of our stories today, but Lawrence Fishburne, they also just announced, just joined Passengers as well. So it's a very interesting slate actually here. Sony, for a studio that just a year ago, I mean, like, it felt like every single day we were talking about Sony glum this, Sony bad news that. They have kind of really pulled themselves together. We've seen some cool things coming from them now. Now they release a slate. I think it's a very interesting, diverse-looking slate.
You know what it is also? What it also is, when you look at it, they're not trying to be Disney. They're not trying to be Universal here. And I think that might be new people in charge here too, because you look at these movies, even the big budget ones they have with the Dark Tower or whatever they're doing, they're not just going superheroes, or they're not going. It's because I don't see a Spider-Man.
Very light on superheroes.
Yeah, where's Spider-Man in this list, by the way?
The most superhero-y thing on there is Ghostbusters.
Right. So I mean, and even that's what I mean. They're setting, even though I'm not super excited about a lot of it, they're setting themselves apart to where it's a Sony slate, as where it doesn't just kind of blend in with what DC and Disney's doing. So good for them.